taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Dr. Chad on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream, Monday, February 24th. We've got the S&P up 22, NASDAQ is up 78, Russell up 14, Dow up 208. Gold is a little bit green, silver a little bit red, notes and bonds red, 10-year yield up 0.5%, oil slightly green, natural gas down 5.6. All the grains are red. Euro and the pound pretty much flat. Bitcoin up 1%. VIX getting a Monday contraction. So no 1 DTE for me today. Also, it's Monday, so no Rick. We've got kind of the strongest stocks on the board for the big boys. Would be, well, Tesla's coming down now. It's almost back to unchanged. NVIDIA's holding up. Green. Coinbase is green. Google also coming down, but it's one of the stronger stocks on the board. PLTR is weak. Looks like all the cryptos are green. MSTR, Hood, Coin are all green. Chips are mostly green. AMD's up. Micron is up. NVIDIA's up. SMCI is weak. AVGO is slightly green. So I'm going to just kind of follow price and trade both directions, but I will say I'm going to be very cautious on the long side from a standpoint of I'm going to be taking profits quickly and not really trying to hold extended runners necessarily unless the market sentiment really changes. But obviously the big flush Friday, we're getting a little bounce here overnight, but it's currently getting sold off a little bit. So I definitely have a little bit of a bearish bias overall for the market. So just kind of watch price and see what happens here. But that's kind of my high-level overview thought process. Good morning, Ken. How are you? Chuck the Canadian, are you on board today? First live stream. Moel, good morning. Morning, Abash. All right, so the let's see, the expected move for SPX is 32.8 for the day. And for NDX, it is about 165.3. $165.3. Put into perspective, it was like $98 on Friday as far as the expected range in NDX. NVIDIA is pushing up. Tesla staying green. Apple's going green. Oh, awesome. Hey, so Chuck and Gustavo, welcome Gustavo as well. So I know this is kind of confusing, but we're actually in the process of cleaning a couple things up in our channels. But so for during the day trading live stream like we're doing now, use the day trading chat in Discord. I'm going to turn the Zoom chat off so I don't have to monitor that one. Welcome, Gustavo. Welcome, Chuck. Yeah, so the day trading chat is where everybody will be. If you have questions, comments. Apple, nice little push. So the strategies we're trading today are part of the day trading options for income. The course for that is in WAP. And I do have a 3-4 calendar entering. So let me take care of that really quick. Well, I was trying to enter. What happened here? Okay, tried to get in. Give me 1 second here. Nope, no Rick today. Moel. I may do a discretionary one at some point, but they typically don't do well. I mean, we typically don't get a VIX contraction overnight on Mondays, but when it does happen, they typically don't do well. Okay, got my calendar posted. All right, Coinbase is coming down. It's still barely green. Amazon just went red. Apple is staying strong. Nvidia is up a couple percent, staying somewhat strong. Chinese stocks are weak. Baidu is falling. Bob is down 6%. Morning, JG. Also, Moel, if you check the if you model a Rick, with an expected move of over 31, you're probably going to have a tiny upside profit. So on my board here, I've got my big boys: Apple, Amazon, Google, Coin, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. I've got 2 other boards with 8 stocks on them as well. So another 16 stocks on a couple other monitors. So as always, let me know if you all see any volume or price action that warrants attention. Meta's dipping into the red. And for those who are new here today, the lines you'll see on my chart are just the previous day's open, high, low, close. So the red line is Friday's close, the yellow is Friday's low, the blue is Friday's high, and the white is Friday's open. And I've got volume. And that's all I keep on my charts. There is a moving average on here, a 9 EMA. I don't put any weight on that. That's just something I was kind of looking at for a while. I actually probably take it off my charts here. Netflix opened unchanged and is pushing up. Microsoft getting weak. S&P only up 15 now. NASDAQ looking a little heavy. Looking a little heavy. Russell just went red. Baidu and Baba are falling. Microsoft, the weakest of the big tech boys. Google's still up 1%, but coming down. Tesla trying to hold on to green. Nvidia's still up 2%. Little pop and drop. Now it's trying to climb back up. Apple is acting pretty strong here. It's not participating in the NASDAQ's little drop. It's right above pre-market highs. I'm just a little cautious about jumping in along this early, but if the market bounces, Apple and Nvidia will be the two that really kind of potentially push the most. We've got about a minute left on this bar. We've got Baba and Baidu. I just combined the two. Baba and Baidu have decent sized volume bars on the second one, but they're not going to surpass the first. So I don't see any volume bars. Microsoft is close as well, but not quite there. Two of the three crypto stocks are now dipping into the red. MSTR, coin's trying to hang on. Tesla's trying to hang on. Apple's trying to hang on. Google's up the most of the big ones, but pretty weak since the open. Yeah, LBS, when you have an expected move as big as we have today, typically the RICs don't set up very well. If you model one, you'll see there's the upside max profit doesn't even get close to what your profit target would be of 35%. So that would be one reason. And then two, usually we don't get a VIX overnight contraction on Monday mornings, but today we did. And so it doesn't test well to trade on Mondays because of the weekend volatility environment. So those are two reasons to stay out. I mentioned earlier, I may do a discretionary one with a little bit different parameters at some point today. But nothing at the open here. I apologize for my voice today. I've still got some working through some congestion. Feeling good, just not sounding good. BA. Yeah, BA strong. Definitely strong compared to everything. I'll keep that one on my board. I don't just jump in if something's going up. Disney's going up too. Boeing and Disney. Couple strong Dow components. Dow is the strongest of the four. Yeah, PLTR is not having a good day. Right below its pre-market lows. PLTR does not like the government Pentagon potential cuts, it sounds like. Looks like the banks are up. Goldman's coming down, but it's up over 1%. So SMCI is up to the pre-market lows, which is also Friday's lows. Put that on the board here. With also a little volume pop. See if SMCI reacts here. I may take a short in SMCI. Apple staying green. Nvidia is trying to push back up. You're getting a little pause in Disney and Boeing. Don't really have a good level to manage risk around with either of those. Goes Nvidia. So as far as the sectors go, chips are, you got financials and chips are the two strongest. Uber? What's Uber doing? Uber's weak. Hanging around its pre-market lows. See what it looks like on the daily. And S&P coming down to its lows. Yeah, so Uber's bouncing back up above it's just kind of chopping around its pre-market lows right now. I'll keep that on my board. So SMCI kept pushing, so I'm not going to do anything in that at this point. So Apple and Nvidia really are the two from a strong standpoint, with the NASDAQ and the S&P kind of going down. Those are the two that are kind of the big ones that are kind of holding strong. Nvidia definitely strongest. Nvidia's got earnings this week. 2:26 after the market, so that's Wednesday. So now we got Boeing and Disney. Pretty decent little rollover, a little pullback. Just being a little patient this morning, my friends. Tesla going red. Oh, Microsoft had a big volume bar. Didn't even notice. It's already now bouncing above that bar that had the big spike, that last bar. All right, so indices coming down. NASDAQ just went red. S&P approaching Friday's close. So SMCI and Nvidia had a little bit of a volume pop on that push up. Chips are the strongest. Apple still holding with the market coming down. So if this market bounces, Apple may bounce. Nvidia rolling over. So if you took a short on Nvidia with that mighty 90 little volume pop, that's obviously working, but now SMCI is holding a little bit stronger. Apple starting to bounce. Robinhood, MSTR coming down. Coinbase coming down. Tesla's red. Apple staying strong. Yeah, Matrix, are you on the live stream? Yeah, so I don't trade RICS on Monday. You rarely get the overnight VIX contraction. We did today, but it doesn't test well to trade Mondays. And then also with the high expected move, it just isn't going to set up well. Your upside profit's not even going to be enough to hit your profit target. So for those two reasons, I'm out. That's my Shark Tank impersonation. NVIDIA giving up the goods. Apple still pumping, even with the market coming down. So if this market continues to flush and Apple still continues to chop, I'll consider a long in Apple. Woo, getting nasty, kids. S&P, NASDAQ through Friday's lows. VIX up to 19. Like Uber held below its pre-market lows and then dropped. I mean, obviously everything's dropping. Oh yeah, so did mine. Moel. Thought the ding I heard was something else. All right, so we're getting some little volume spikage in Coinbase, Mighty 90 style. Robinhood. I'm not ready to jump in and catch this falling knife yet. Apple still holding up well. Obviously, the path of least resistance here is short. And I came in with kind of a short bias, but aside from like Uber, I just didn't see really any, or maybe a short Mighty 90 in NVIDIA, but didn't really see any good short setups to get involved in. NASDAQ approaching its lower expected move for the day. All right, so coin's getting a little bounce off that volume spike. Apple shaking off the weakness. Tesla pushing through its pre-market lows. Baidu also had kind of a mighty 90 volume spike on that last flush. All right, if we can get a bounce up to the pre-market lows or yesterday's lows in Tesla, I might consider a short. Apple approaching its high of day now. VIX up to 19.29. Just like that, we go from VIX in the 14s to VIX in the 19s. Robinhood extending lower. Coinbase is holding up a little bit better here off the little mighty 90 spike. Wow, NVIDIA about to go red after being one of the strongest. Robinhood now has a volume bar higher than the first. Like some good old-fashioned profit taking going on. Oh, nice, Lando. Yeah, that's a nice one. Boeing and Disney fell apart. They could not hold. The only one that's holding is Apple. Tesla bounced right up to its pre-market lows and dipped again. So if you were able to get in something short, good for you. Yeah, looking at it now, that was perfect. It's good. Good quick entry. One of the reasons I'm being a little patient too is I was going over this weekend, I was going over my day trading stats and notes, and I've definitely done better on my later entries as opposed to the ones real quick near the open now. Obviously, you get some really nice, you get a move like this, it's big. And they haven't been bad. It's just my later entries have definitely been a lot better. So all the crypto stocks, Netflix has a mighty 90, MSTR, Coinbase, still pushing lower though. I really want to get long Apple. S&P below its expected move. Just sold my stopped out put side of my BIC. Sold my long put for $2. I mean, the S&P is only down 27. It feels like it's down 100. Which means a couple things. Either got a lot more to go or this market's stronger than I am perceiving it to be. Robinhood. Wow. Volume coming in the cryptos, my friends. Bitcoin only down 1/3%, but yeah, I was talking about Tesla. I wasn't interested in doing it too quick, but Tesla and Nvidia, yeah. Nvidia as well. VIX 20. All right. I'm just going to use the 247 level in Apple as my line in the sand. I'm going to use the 247 half calls in Apple. $247 half calls in Apple. Take an upside continuation runner here on this pause pullback. Filled at 321. So again, just kind of based on the relative strength concept I talked about a few weeks ago. Apple, obviously the strongest in the face of all this weakness. So if we can get a bounce here, Apple should make a nice push. I like to do this a lot better around a level like a pre-market high, yesterday's high. We've got yesterday's high right above it. So I'm looking, it's kind of pulled back right below it. So I'm looking for a push above that Friday's high to hit my first profit target if we bounce. $247.5 strike, Tony. 247.5 call. Look at the strikes on Apple. 247.5, 247.5. Yeah, sorry. That's just when there's a half point strike, I just 247.5 is what I would say. Call it. Okay, getting a tiny bounce. Correct. Matrix. So I'll put my first profit target at $3.60. Which would pop, if we pop right above the previous bar, that would hit. Definitely not taking off like I had hoped on this bounce. A little 15-point bounce in SPX. Almost 20. Some of these weak stocks getting a pretty decent bounce. Crypto's getting a bounce, Nvidia getting a nice bounce, Tesla nice bounce. Apple, one more tick up should hit my profit target. There we go, 360 hit. You could certainly have taken a mighty 90 in one of these stocks as well, although the cryptos got volume bars higher than the first, so those were kind of disqualified, but some of these others had some nice volume spikes. I just chose to go with Apple, which had the best relative strength on the board. The market flushing, Apple is still pushing. Apple ticked above Friday's high. Coming down a little bit here. If it doesn't hold well, I'm going to be quick to get out. Definitely not looking for an all-day runner in Apple. Tesla's back up to its pre-market lows. All right, I'm going to get out of Apple. Filled at 317. So booked a small profit there, but let's see what Tesla does. I may get short Tesla on this retest of the pre-market low. I'd be trading the 330 puts in Tesla. Nvidia's back in the green. Just want to see if where this bounce goes in the market. If the S&P bounces up to its Friday's low and Tesla still holds below its pre-market's low, I'll take a short in Tesla. It's pretty good bounce here. Pretty good bounce. Hit a low of 77. It's back up to 03. 25-point bounce. VIX went from 20.24 back down to 1889. Gonna get a little flush and reverse here on the day. And now Apple's getting weak. Manage thy risk today, my friends. Manage thy risk in both directions. NASDAQ popped right back up to its lower expected move. Goldman Sachs bouncing back up to Friday's lows. Tesla is right near its pre-market low still, a little above. Well, this bounce is continuing for Tesla. Google just flushed unchanged and bouncing. Amazon is not making much of a push above its Friday's lows. Microsoft still acting really weak. Smallest of the bounces. Tesla coming back down. All right, I'm going to take a short in Tesla. 330 puts. Filled at 850. So it's staying below the pre-market lows. S&P looks like it's reacting off of Friday's lows. If Tesla pushes back above the high of this current bar, I would bail for, which should probably be a fairly small loss if that were to happen. Anticipating we may see some more weakness here. I'm going to try to get out of some near the lows of day. I'm going to put my profit target at $11, which would be right near lows of day if it comes down. So I talk about in the day trading courses, taking half off at around 10% profit, which is certainly a valid way to do it. In the updated lesson on the continuation runners, I talked about using more of levels on the price chart to target, which is what I'm doing here. So I want to see a push back down to lows of day before I take any off. I'm up well over 10% already. Yeah, was it like 5 to 10% Dark Avenger? Yeah, and that's a little bit of a arbitrary number, right? There's nothing magic about 10% or 15% or 5%. It's just really taking some chips off the table once the trade goes in your direction to lock in some profits and remove some risk. Boeing bounced back up. Crash, crash, crash. We want to crash. The general public would be like, what is wrong with these people? Why are they rooting for the market to crash? Meta rolling over. Nvidia's come down off of its bounce. Tesla is definitely a good relative to, Meta and Tesla are kind of coming down the most on this little leg. I don't know if I'd call it a diversified retirement portfolio, Watson. Definitely. At least if you ask a financial advisor, they would not call it a diversified portfolio. Yes, I own stocks and ETFs. Come on, Tesla. Need a little more out of you. Little more. You find yourself in conflicting desires. Yeah, it's kind of like when I have a 1 DTE and a Rickon, right? Who do I want to root for today? Yeah, you really have to compartmentalize when you have conflicting trades on that they're separate. Sometimes they'll both be winners. Sometimes they could both be losers, but just got to take a more of a long-term, many occurrences kind of mindset around that to understand it's not about just one trade. You're just taking the occurrences as they qualify. Although I have gravitated away to doing less and less of that and being more, I think part of it is just, being so much more focused on directional day trading these last few months. Um, and taking an assumption with my positions and managing based on that criteria. Well, S&P and NASDAQ, a little dip. Tesla's pausing. Yeah, I can't trade everything. I had to decide what I wanted to trade, and focused has been better. More focused has been better. Yeah, Apple's still holding up well. So the flip side of what I'm doing here with Tesla is, you'd be out of half your position right here. So if it bounced, you'd be glad you got out, right? If it doesn't come down to hit my profit target, you'd have been better off taking profits quicker. So you have to adjust and do what you feel is best. I don't like that Tesla's not hitting lows as the S&P and NASDAQ are coming down now, though. It's just kind of pausing. NVIDIA is now getting weak. Yeah, if we get another flush and Apple holds again, I'll revisit Apple. I'll be back in 1 minute. There we go, Tesla. Yeah, so Dark Avenger, continuing on what I was saying there. Every strategy just it takes a different amount of mental bandwidth, right? And mental capacity to pay attention and manage it properly. And when I find myself too distracted and making mistakes on other strategies because I'm too focused, I have too many things going on. I just have to cut some stuff out. So if you have the bandwidth to do some of those other things, obviously all the training is there, but I can't do everything. I used to try to do everything. Come on, Tesla, one more little flush, buddy. Don't go bouncing on me. Don't you go bouncing on me. Big bounce back in Boeing, back up below highs of day. Just needed a little bit more downside in Tesla. Yep, I'm not against it. I just, got to pick your poison. Everybody's different. Don't wait on me to do it if it's something that you want to do. Oh, Tesla, come on. Where's my little flush? Ugly bounce, Tesla. Ugly bounce. I am going to enter a discretionary 1 DTE. Kind of chopping around the expected move area here. All right. Tesla's little bounce is getting whack-a-mole. Let's pop it back down there a little bit. Call it a day. Nvidia's getting weaker. Meta's staying weak. Microsoft's staying pretty weak. Amazon's staying weak. Google's staying green. Apple's staying pretty strong. Chinese stocks weak. Baba is down almost 10%. Baidu's now down over 4. Crypto's staying weak. Netflix staying weak. PLTR staying weak. AMD weak. Goldman chopping below Friday's lows. S&P right below its expected move line. NASDAQ a little bit below its expected move. Nvidia through lows of day. We're right to there. Come on, Tesla. Follow your buddy Nvidia. Apple's now coming down a little bit below its little consolidation area. If Apple goes red, if Apple can't hold, if Boeing can't hold, we may be in for some more blood in the streets. Dow's still green. I don't like how Tesla's holding up. Apple's coming down. Need S&P and NASDAQ through lows of day. One DTE is definitely going to be more forgiving, right? It can handle a bigger move, but I'll do some 0 DTE after I get off here. So it wasn't really a either or. It was more of just getting in the 1 DTE because we've had a nice volume spike here, or volatility spike. Tesla just chopping. Well, all of your calendars from Friday holding up well. The only one I did is a 5/7, just because my automation was not. There's an issue with the data feed for the automation. So I only did the 5/7 because I basically forgot. I had all kinds of pressure going on in my head and totally forgot to manually enter. But my 5/7 is up 6.8%. My 3/4 double from this morning's up 8%. Dark Avenger, do you take a bunch of Friday calendars? Anybody else? I assume they're probably doing pretty well. Bosch, you're all in? Full port? All of them green, Bosch? 6/7s break even. Oh, you entered early. Okay. Tesla, I need you lower. I needed Tesla to act like Nvidia. So Apple's kind of giving it up. So that's kind of off the table as far as going long for now. I was looking if the market made another leg down, but Apple held. I was looking at it, but now I'd be looking at I'd be looking at Boeing. So if the market makes another leg down and Boeing holds below high of day and kind of chops where it's at, I would consider Boeing for a long. Other than that, I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. I'm in Tesla. I have not taken any profits yet. Still have my profit target. I got in with 4. I've got a profit target to take 2 of the 4 off at $11, which would be near lows of day here. So I'll continue to hold that. Booked a little profit in Apple. We'll see what happens the rest of the day. I may take some additional ones this afternoon, but that is it for now, my friends. Everybody have a good rest of your day. See you guys in Power Hour. Cheers.